Oh man, well we are live, and I am so honored and thrilled. I have I would say one of my best friends is probably an understatement. This is like my brother here,
Yeah,
Sam Deasy. I
family.
grew up with this guy. He's always like an older brother to me, man, and it is awesome to finally have him on the channel. Life is busy. He's got kids, and we're working, so we don't get as much opportunities to connect and get together like we used to. But this is a great platform for us, especially now that the Broncos are a playoff team. So, Sam, I appreciate you tuning in, man.
Yeah, first and foremost, congrats on 500. It's a big, big deal.
Oh, thanks, man. I wish it
Super
was
awesome. Something to
500K,
be
but
very proud of. And that being the difference, obviously having kids, I have an entire office filled with toys versus your very cool Champ Bailey and Brian Dawkins background. So yeah, huge difference there.
oh yeah, no, it's sometimes it's not all this. These things took forever, man. Sometimes having toys in the background, it's
No,
more organic. It's not so planned.
no, it's sick. I think it's sick. My office looks like a war zone for children. So yeah, yeah.
That is normal. That is normal. But man, how you been, bro? How you feeling about the season overall now that we are officially relevant again in the world of football?
It's very exciting. Obviously, coming off of a long, deep depression as a Broncos fan, I obviously think that this is pretty legit. And I hate like saying this out loud because I said this prior to the Bengals game, but I like have a very weird, good feeling about going up against Buffalo. Maher and I had this conversation the same week that actually we played against the Bengals. I felt like the matchup against Buffalo to me was one of my more favorite matchups solely on the fact that I think Josh Allen in the playoffs isn't great, and I also think that we have nothing to lose. They have everything to lose. I like those two things.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I agree. I do like the matchup. I think, I will say, and I'm getting on a Buffalo Bills podcast actually tomorrow to talk to him about it. But I will say, I think the Bills this year are as ready or as well equipped to win the Super Bowl as they ever have been. Really, because what they've done with their offense in terms of like actually revolving it around a run game. But yeah, I mean, you find a way to contain Josh Allen, and man, the Bills, they have this weird playoff curse. I don't know, so
Yeah, that's what I
I
mean.
like our
Like the
chances too.
postseason,
And what's
they've
that?
been goofy. They've been goofy in the postseason.
Yeah,
I don't want to like put out there. It has very like Tim Tebow Pittsburgh Steelers vibes. Like just the difference is I think our team is a lot better than that team was this season. I think Bo is obviously how I felt about Tebow, like significantly better than Tebow, but I um I just feel like it has that kind of a vibe. Like we're not the team that's supposed to win. We're quote unquote not necessarily supposed to be there, even though the circumstances are different here. I feel like, we botched a couple weeks in a row, but we still definitely deserve this playoff spot. Like, it just was weird how it unfolded. But I'm very excited for that game. Very excited for that game.
yeah, no, it's gonna be a hell of a game, man. It's gonna be a hell of a game. And there was a point that I was just thinking about, but it totally escaped my brain about Buffalo. But
You were saying that when I haven't watched a lot of Buffalo, I know you had Josh Allen, correct, in fantasy in a couple different leagues this year.
yeah, yeah, I had
So
him in
obviously
most
you
of
had
my
some
leagues.
vested interest in that sense. What
Mhm.
have you seen a lot of their games? Like I know you say that they're more ready this year than they have been, and I haven't. I mean, I've just kind of been disconnected the last couple seasons really from
Mhm.
football outside of the Broncos. Um, I feel like they've obviously been very good for the last 2, 3 years. To your point, yes, this year they seem like they're on a mission, but I also like just looking from the outside, scoreboard wise, like their defense is obviously giving up a lot of points too. I mean, the games that are close with them are teams that are, I mean, they're dropping 40, 50 points in those games.
Yeah, yeah. The defense is really inconsistent. They're kind of like they're a bend but don't break defense. They give up a lot of yards. They don't necessarily give up a ton of points, and they turn the ball over really well. So that's kind of the positives that they got going. But the Bills, what's kind of crazy about them this year is they're super well balanced, right? I think they're ranked 10th overall in offense, 11th in passing, and ninth in running. So it's like they
Wow.
can beat you running the ball, they can beat you passing. But man, it's crazy. They literally do not turn the ball over. Like I think it's like almost in the past 10 years, I don't know if there's been a team that's had a turnover ratio. They have a plus 24 turnover margin, which is by far and away like the highest in the NFL. And I think that, like I
Yeah.
said, I think that among the highest in like the last 10, 15 years. So in the games in which they don't have a positive turnover ratio, they have lost. And I'm not 100% sure, but from what I had seen, and so if you're not turning the ball over, you're not going to lose many games. So I think that's kind of the reason that they've been winning. And obviously, man, the playoffs. What's cool about the NFL playoffs, unlike and I mean I like the NBA too. I love the NHL, but what makes the NFL playoffs so awesome, man, is it's a game 7 every single time.
Yeah.
So anybody's got a chance any given Sunday. That's what makes it so special. So I mean, you never know.
The argument of like the seeded victories and the 8 seed could have any given Sunday and come in and take out the 1 seed like is by far the coolest aspect of playoff
Mm.
football. I agree. It's very different than NBA. You know, you can have a bad night and lose and not stress about it when it's not a game 6 or a game 7. But like, I don't disagree. I think, and that to me is the other like optimistic side of this against Buffalo is I feel like if the Broncos can come out doing what they do, even though we've had this like weird dance this season where um, when we perform better in the second half, those are the games that we win versus the games where we perform better in the first half. We kind of have a weird stagnant second half, and it's just been kind of goofy as a season overall.
Mm.
But like, I just feel like Buffalo is the team that has everything to lose in this matchup, and that to me is like a huge bonus for the Broncos. Like we're going into this expected to lose, so anything better than that is awesome.
Yeah. No, 1,000%. That's such a big. I mean, especially if we jump up on them. Let's say we go down, we're up 7-0, 10-0. That's really when the pressure starts to hit, right? Because then they
Yeah,
start to panic, maybe the doubt. You take the crowd out of it.
mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
it's. I agree. It's huge.
you obviously pay like really close attention to a lot of this stuff. What's the current? I haven't looked into this, and I'll ask you because I'm sure you know the answer. What's the current weather supposed to be like in Buffalo? I think it was you or possibly Waddy that had said something about the Bills playing poorly in cold weather or in snow weather or something like that. They're like record. I know it's all BS, but like,
Which is like every fucking game, right? It seems like.
yeah,
No, so what the weather was showing is going to be very similar to the Kansas City game here. So
okay,
it'll be cloudy, pretty cold, like
okay,
upper 20s, low 30s, but there's
standard winter
no
weather.
moisture or anything in the forecast, which is good. So I don't think it's going to be, and there's not like wind or anything. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a big deal.
What do you think is going to be the biggest impact in that game? Like, who do you think is it going to be a defensive? Is it going to be Bo? Is it going to be how the D line performs? What do you think is going to be the strongest aspect for us to pull out a victory against the Bills?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be the pass rush, no doubt, because I mean, we're lead the league, we're the league leaders in sacks.
Yeah,
And
it's
if we're
crazy.
able to get after Josh Allen, keep him in the pocket so that he can't beat you with his legs, which we do struggle against
Yeah,
quarterbacks that can
yeah,
do that. But you can really kind of hurry him and make him, force him into some mistakes. I think that's going to give you the best shot to win, because you can't really afford for this game to be a shootout. So I think the pass rush has been the reason why this team has gotten to this point. I mean, there's a lot of factors, but
yeah.
probably the most significant one. And so I think it's probably going to hold true. But I mean, I'm curious what you think about that.
I I don't disagree. Obviously, their passing game is their like shine, but to your point, they've had a tremendous running season as well. But we've done a really good job against the run defensively. So I feel like um, containing a mobile QB is a huge problem for the Denver defense. Anytime that there's been a quarterback that has feet, we've struggled. Especially like 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9. They run and gain that first down and just kills all the momentum. I don't know how much of a factor the secondary is going to play. I mean, obviously, I go back to the Cincy game, and the secondary just got torched, and that scares me because Josh Allen can do that, at any given time. But I don't. I feel like with the 2 weeks against coming off the Kansas City Chiefs game, like our secondary is just going to be a lot more prepared. Everybody's coming off a fully healthy. Our entire first team practice this week, correct? Like no injuries.
No, man, it's
Yeah,
2 years in a row now. It's
huge.
been
Yeah, which
crazy.
is huge. So like, I feel like if they can maintain eh, Josh Allen, to your point, I mean, I feel like the defensive line is going to set the tone 100%. I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he can be stopped or just limited. If which one it's going to be. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like I say this every week. If the defense can just hold it down, I feel like our entire season that's just been the one thing that's sort of messed up is the run game just hasn't been fully established. And I feel like that is essential in Peyton's offense. And we just haven't been able to run the ball the way that we should, I feel like. I feel like we should be running the ball better and we're not. And I
No,
think
no doubt.
that's going to be a huge factor too. But I don't know. Um, I guess, yeah, I guess if we can, I don't know, the ground game defensively, I feel like you're right. The front line is just going to be everything. And yeah, just holding Josh Allen, dude, I don't know, man. It's going to be either awesome or not awesome. I don't know what to think about this game, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're exactly right. It's kind of crazy because I feel like there's always really two formulas for how like an underdog team wins, right? You either just forcing turnovers like crazy and giving yourself an opportunity to win, like,
Yeah.
in terms of the offense scoring a lot, or you play like the time possession game, which we've been dog shit all year, except for like the Kansas City game, but we've been awful at like winning the time of possession and having long sustained drives. A lot of those 3-and-outs will kill you.
Yeah, dude.
But, so it's like, which one of those two models work best for us? And I feel like it's the best shot's going to be, we're just going to be getting after them, forcing turnovers, forcing them and making stupid mistakes, and then, capitalizing at that point. But because I don't see a situation where we're just running the ball, controlling the clock, wearing them down, that route.
No,
So,
I mean, the problem is too, like, I feel like their defense has been, I guess, okay. I mean, I think it's the coolest thing ever. The Von Miller side of it has just been hilarious. Like, Torn, I mean, that's like one of my all-time favorite Broncos, and to have to go up against them and him being very cool about it with like the full circle and the IG post, like just all of it.
yeah,
I
he's
feel
dope.
like he's also been on an absolute tear this year, like, which is crazy. But I mean, not like, yeah, not considering all the things considering he's been playing very well. And yes, to your point, I cannot imagine that we're going to be killing the clock running the ball. I just get nervous with Peyton's play calling and that article that you guys sent with Belichick and the clock management and timeouts, dude. Like, I just don't understand how a guy that's been in the league that long can make such stupid ass mistakes over the
I know.
course of an entire
Isn't
season, dude.
Isn't it wild? I mean,
Is
dude, up until like literally a year ago, Andy Reid was the worst.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
until I think he just delegated it off, but I don't get it. I really don't get
I mean, it
that.
helps
But
when he
that's the
has,
kind of shit we can't afford for sure.
dude, especially in this like level of a game against this level of a team. I don't know. I'm like really excited, but extremely nervous about this game, man. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it a little bit before we went live. I can't recall, but like you in your head, you think the Chiefs game was good. Like it was a good that our team actually played. They tried obviously 38-0. Like it wasn't like just whatever. But do you feel like that's just like a positive confidence boost, or just like the team accepts like, all right, whatever, we played second, third string, like we just need to get that out of the way. We're in the playoffs, weights off our shoulders. Do you feel like it was just positive in that sense, or more that like, okay, we got that win, I don't care, there's still professional players, it's still the NFL? Like, how do you think like do you have any vibe on the interpretation of how the team took that? Because I just feel like it was kind of a I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I just think of like myself as a player and athlete, and I would think that like that kind of a game would just make me upset, whether we won or not. Like that, I wasn't playing a real team, and it was just like a BS game. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It does. I mean, I guess the way that I look at it is, okay, you can't. The only thing you can control as a team is how you play. You can have zero control over who you're playing, right? That's why everybody was like, well, the Broncos haven't really beaten any playoff teams or anybody that's good. And it's like, somebody's on our schedule, we beat them. And I think what's been the nice theme about this team is the games in which we were favored to win and we were expected to win, we have won and covered the spread every single time.
That's true.
That is a complete 360 from anything garbage that we've seen the last 9 years.
Many years, yeah.
And this was the same kind of ordeal. Like if someone was like, hey, this Broncos team is playing the Chiefs backups, and it was really only 13 players. I mean, I know that's a lot, right? But you still have to understand, like, that means there's still 9 starters across offense and defense total.
There's also guys shifting in and out of position that are active all the time. Yeah. 100%.
I mean, it's not like these are like they've never played in the NFL. But if somebody's like, they're playing as the Chiefs backups, what do you think the Broncos should win by? Nobody's
Yeah.
saying that they should win by 38 points, right? You're
Yeah.
saying you should at
Yeah.
least win by at least 2 possessions. Well,
That's
I
so
mean, we
true. Yeah.
absolutely blew them out of the water. So I think that's how they look at it. Like they went out, they executed, they did their thing. They've been in playoff mode, like I had said, I think for a month now. And
Yeah.
so that
They've been
momentum
playing like it.
is hopefully going to just continue because it's not like they have to, you know, pump themselves up or get back into the postseason, mindset.
So
Like, like Kansas City's probably going to have to do, which they've proven in the past that they do a good job of being able to. But I mean,
yeah,
they haven't played meaningful football in a month.
they have also I don't know. I mean, and you're not wrong. Like that type of game, resting your starters and letting the second team take a beating like that isn't necessarily good for a team like the Chiefs either. Granted, they have like the NFL and all the officials on their side, but they are still like, I just don't think it was just a weird game. I don't know, and it was just like to me, it just felt like a courtesy game, and it was whatever. But to your point, they absolutely still dominated and did what they were supposed to do, which is good. We haven't done that for a long time. Like we haven't done what we're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do for a long time. Obviously, like the one thing we haven't sat down and talked Broncos a lot this year. How awesome is Bo?
Man, God, it was
It's
supposed to like God bless Bo Nix. Yeah,
Yeah, dude. I
he's dope.
Justin today when he sent that Instagram post that he posted. First of all, I thought it was so tight. Like Bo's in
Yeah, it's cool,
education
man.
is so tight. But I don't know if I don't want to be happy because I'm scared I'll curse Bo like how stupid it is, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
just feel like
no, for
holy
sure.
crap, dude. Holy crap. He's a stud.
Yeah,
He's a stud.
no, he is. Is there anything that like has really surprised you about him
I didn't
that you were like, holy shit, I did not expect that?
I feel like what shocked me the most was his ability to play without coaching, if you will. So like when he's been on his own and just kind of like free gunning it, like he's been outstanding. Like when he's running a no huddle or when he's running like a hurry up offense, whether it's Peyton in the mic or not, like whatever the circumstance is, a lot of that to me is on him, and that surprised me tremendously. Like his
Yeah,
ability to play without the coaching and telling him what to do or what to look for, or without the review, like just in the motions in the go, like has been insanely. Like it makes me
yeah,
want them to run that offense all the time. That's how impressive he's been there. That definitely surprised me. I know when he got drafted, you were obviously very excited about Bo, and I know you spoke super highly of him. Like obviously, you look at the highlights and you look at everything. I mean, you said the same thing about any of the other QBs that we drafted. I mean, Paxton looked like a stud in college, whatever. But like, you just never know how it's going to transition in the NFL. And I feel like it might have been you that said it. Sean Payton and him are a very good fit. Whether it's
yeah,
the system or whether it's the coaching, he's just transitioned so much faster than I think any of us could have anticipated, and it's been so awesome to watch, bro. Like just so awesome.
yeah. No, it's been amazing. I think when it comes to Bo too, that like you made a really good point talking about the 2 minute and running the huddle and all that. Like it's ironic because I feel like there was a little bit of training wheels on him in his first couple of games when he really struggled. Because
Yeah,
I think Sean Payton was kind of like, hey, I'm going to call the plays. I want to try to make it easy. And then he kind of realized that like if you give this guy the freedom at the line of scrimmage to check in and out of plays, to be able to, spread things out and run things his way, like he was really good at it. And it's usually the opposite. It's usually like you
yeah,
ease them in and then you see them get better and
yeah.
better. But
That's
dude's
like
just
a
been,
that's like a
yeah,
year six thing, bro. Like a year 4, 5, 6 thing. Like guys don't establish what they're comfortable, and when they played with players for so many seasons, like that shit was crazy. Like he was just making the transition and doing what was necessary in that no huddle or that quick run offense. And I was like, bro, that's when he looked his best. Like that's when we were converting on third downs. That's when we were getting 17, 25-yard plays. Like just stuff that we haven't seen in years. You know what I mean? Like the 3 and out, dude is exhausting. And this is obviously the first time in a long time that we haven't seen a 3 and out offense, man. And it's been awesome to watch. And obviously, he's a huge part of it. I mean, I'm really disappointed in the run game, dude. Williams and uh, um, what's his
McLaughlin.
name? Yeah, like to me, Williams shouldn't be the starter. Not that it matters, but it's just like neither back has really excelled, but McLaughlin has been way better. And so like it's just an odd duo in that I'm just like disappointed in the run game. I thought it was going to be a lot better this year because he opened up the offense more. So just that's kind of been a bummer. But Bo's been such a positive light in all of it, dude. Like it's not even, it's hard to be mad at anything. It's really hard to be mad at anything right now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think like we get greedy, right? I mean, we forget
Yeah,
how dog shit balls it's been
yeah,
all year, for so
yeah,
many years. But now that we're
yeah.
good again, it's like, no, you want the best. But yeah, I mean, the run game has been frustrating. I definitely, I mean, statistically, it hasn't been, I don't think, anywhere as bad as all of Broncos country perceives it
No,
to be. But I think
yeah,
that's because we got a couple factors. Firstly, Bo Nix is your third leading rusher. I mean, he contributed 430 yards rushing
crazy.
this
It's
year.
crazy, by the way. Yeah,
But in addition to that, it's like because you're not having that 100-yard rusher and you're not having those games where you're getting a ton of volume and you're just like running it down the team's throat, it's just not, it hasn't really been impressive. I mean, it's definitely
and
not that good.
he's third, and obviously, I mean, it makes sense. He's third, 400 plus yards rushing, and if I'm not mistaken, in the last 3 weeks he hasn't hardly run at all. Even 4 weeks, I don't think he's nearly rushed the ball that much at all. I
Mm-mm.
know there was a couple against Cincinnati, but he's like really kind of bit back on. I mean, obviously, when it's there, he'll do it, but I just feel like he ran a lot more earlier in the season than he has in the second half of the season. But yeah, man, he's just been so pleasant to watch, bro. It's been just weird, man. This is the first time I've like felt like, I mean, obviously Peyton Manning was awesome to watch too, but like this has been the first time I've seen something like on our roster, and it's been, and I hate even talking about it because I'm so uh
Superstitious.
superstitious, bro, that I just feel like it's gonna be like disappointing all over again next year, you know.
Mhm.
But I don't know, man. I'm very eager to see how far we can go into these playoffs, bro. I just feel like the matchup against Buffalo is promising, and we're the ones with nothing to lose and something to gain. So I don't know who
Yeah.
who this year has been the biggest surprise for you on the entire roster. Who have you just feel like deserves the most praise? Obviously, outside of Bo, I mean, he's been great, but like, who do you feel like has just been such an awesome and big surprise in the Denver roster?
Oh, I think when you talk about surprise, it's got to be Nick Benito. You know, I talked a lot about him. I knew he had ridiculous talent,
Yeah,
and I
yeah, you
felt like
did.
he would take another step.
You've been praising him
I
a
did
long time.
not think it would be Pro Bowl level, like
This year,
elite,
bro?
an
Jeez
absolute
Louise,
monster.
dude.
Yeah,
Jeez
I mean, it's got to
Louise.
be Nick Benito.
He's
Um,
definitely the baddest dude on our defense. There's no doubt about that. There's no
yeah,
doubt about that.
dude is
And that's
nice.
saying something because PS2 is an absolute stud, but Benito has been just huge
Yeah,
on the
I
Broncos
mean,
defense, bro.
pass rushing in the run game. I mean, that those two pick sixes. I mean, I know one of them was a fumble six, but I mean, good
Yeah, it doesn't
God,
matter.
like,
Doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
you don't see DBs make those kinds of plays, and he's out there. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
he's an
been
absolute
definitely
unit.
the most surprising, absolute beast. And the honorable mention is Marvin Mims. He's not a surprise to me. I've been talking about him for the longest time that he's just been utilized
But
wrong.
this is the year, though. This is the year he like turned it on, bro. Like, and you're right. Maybe it's just because there wasn't the right play calls, or he just didn't have somebody throwing him the ball where he needed to be thrown. Like, that dude has been an
Yeah,
extremely pleasant surprise this year.
yeah. I mean, they were just utilizing him so much as like be a traditional receiver, and it's like, bro, like,
Yeah,
okay, you
yeah.
have the offseason to work on that. But this dude's got skills. You need to figure out a way to get him the ball in his hands. And then they start putting him in the backfield and running him in motion and all that. And it just opens
He,
the
he
floodgates just open up. Dude is
he's
uh dude is explosive, man. I love
he's
that
like
kid.
a taller version of Sproles, the old
Yeah.
Saints offense. That's exactly how he is being
Yeah.
utilized.
And that's kind of
That's
how
what
they're
he's meant to
utilizing
be
him.
doing. Yeah, that's what he's meant to be
Yeah.
doing.
Which is dope.
Yeah, man, it's been exciting. So, the only other question I'm going to ask you is, what's your prediction, the Bills game? Honestly, what do you truly, truly in your heart believe? Not what you want, what
Yeah.
do you believe?
No, for sure. Obviously, what you want, what you believe, are always different, right? I don't believe the Broncos will ultimately win this game. I do think it'll be a really good game. Which when you lose those kinds of games, man, it's the worst. It is
Yeah,
the worst.
yeah. It's
But I think
The
that
Bengals game. That was
yeah,
brutal.
but I think in this particular circumstance, like you just want to see your young team who you didn't even expect to be in the playoffs. You just want to see them play well when they get there. Like if the stage is not too big, because then
Yeah,
next year they're going to be ready to rock.
yeah.
But I ultimately think that we don't win this game because I think Josh Allen is probably going to have the last crack at making a game ceiling decision.
Sure.
And I just have I just feel like if that was the case, I would have faith that he'd probably be able to do it. Unfortunately, that being said, I believe that the 8.5-point spread has gone up to like 9. I do think
Okay.
we cover. I think it'll be a 4 to 6 point game. If I had to
You
make a
think
score prediction, it'd
we'll
probably
keep
be
it
like,
inside of a touchdown? You think so?
yeah, it'd probably be like 27-21 or something like that.
All right. I just oddly believe in my heart that we are going to beat the Buffalo Bills in a very weird.
I have a good feeling about. I really do.
Yeah.
Like I have a positive
I just
feeling.
and this is one of those things where maybe it's the Bills have a bad game, and maybe it's more that they're not playing to the game that they should play, or maybe we disrupt them in whatever way, and they're just not doing what they're supposed to be doing. But I just feel like I could see us winning by 3 or more points in the last quarter. And I don't know. I mean, again, you know how I am, bro. I hate talking out loud about this kind of shit because I just hate it. But I also very realistically understand what you're saying, and to an even bigger extent, where the Bills do beat the shit out of us by like 14 or 21 points. Like that would not surprise me at all.
Yeah,
They are
yeah,
very good team. They're a very good team.
they are.
I just feel like that expectation is the best hope that we have, though. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like
Mhm.
all the experts and everybody thinking that we don't deserve to win this game or have no shot at actually winning this game is kind of, it might have been you that was talking about Cincinnati wanting to get in the playoffs. The announcers at was it week 16 when the Bengals when they were trying
Yeah,
to get
the
like the
Thursday. I
Bengals
think it was the
in
Thursday night crew.
and they were just talking shit about how they'd be a better fit in the playoffs, and I was just like, yeah, you know, they wanted the Burrow Allen matchup, and to me, obviously, like, you know, we touched on it a little bit with like the seeding and how it works, you know, division leaders versus wild card and all that other stuff, to the point of just, you know, we've seen it, the Eli and Tom Brady story, bro. Like the 8 seed team is just as dangerous as the 1 seed team. You just never know in playoff football, and I hang on to that ideology going into this week, and I just feel like if there's going to be an upset, this out of all the teams, to me, is the most logical upset out of all the matchups this coming weekend.
100, yeah, 100%. No, I mean,
Yeah.
100%. And it's funny because on one side we're like the biggest underdog in terms of like the perception of the general public, but if you look at the betting sites, the Steelers are just as much underdogs to the Ravens, which is kind of crazy,
Correct.
as we are to the Bills. When I hear all the narratives like, oh, I'd rather watch Burrow and Allen instead of the Broncos and the Bills, or I guess the Bengals and the Bills, whatever.
Yeah.
I totally understand it. Like if I was not a Bronco fan, I'd be like, I get it. But it's also like this is the Broncos and specifically Bo Nix's opportunity to make it so where they're like, oh shit, I want to start watching that dude. Because I mean, Burrow's
Yeah.
earned that, right? He beat
Yeah.
Mahomes. He made it to the playoffs early. They've done it for years, so obviously, logically, that makes sense. Bo Nix goes out there and plays well, or the Broncos win. Moving forward, everybody's gonna be like, "No, hell no! I want to see the Broncos in the playoffs."
Yeah, Bo
So
in the playoffs and
yeah,
his potential and what he could bring to football for sure. Like I don't disagree with that at all. And to your point, Burrow this year has really had a pretty incredible season. It was almost kind of reversed, the Bengals and the Broncos, how defensively in the last 4 or 5 weeks they really turned it on. Defensively in the last 4 or 5 weeks we kind of shit the bed. Offensively, Burrow has just been tearing it up. I mean, Jamar Chase, dude, what the hell? Like this whole season is just nuts. But I don't disagree. That's a very good point. Like the idea that this is kind of Bo's moment to bring the idea that the Broncos could be a fun team to watch in the postseason and a fun team to watch in the regular season. I mean, this is, don't forget when Russ was here, they had this incredible schedule and TV schedule for the Broncos, and he just shit the bed, dude. And they had to like change the entire timings of all of our games, and they took us off prime time. And it feels weird this year to be a team that I feel like people did want to watch. We were a team that people wanted to watch, and Bo was somebody that people wanted to watch. And to your point, that's a really good way to look at it. That this playoff could be the time that Bo gets his chance to shine, win or lose, I guess. You know what I mean? Like it could just be a good game.
No, no doubt, no doubt. And dude,
Yeah,
we
man.
had I think in Russ's first year we had Hackett. God, what a shitty dude. The amount of like cussing and just, I mean, I've aged, like I can't even tell you. Those are like the worst. Hackett, God, I hate that guy. Anyways,
Yeah, him and Rodgers were both absolute and just bums,
just a
dude. That
jackass,
whole
dude.
transition, just an absolute moron, dude. That was pathetic of a season. That
Yeah.
was pathetic.
But they gave us 6, I think it was 5 or 6 prime. I think we had 6 originally, and they took one away. And every single primetime game, I think we won 1 and we lost 4 of them. We looked like shit. Like we were not only were we really bad, we were as bad
Russ
and
was
very boring. And I was like
Russ was the
embarrassed. I'm
worst.
like, please, for the love of God, please, can you just put us on the 2:30 time slot?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
bury us. I don't want anybody. Like, I'm embarrassed for my team. I don't want the world seeing this shit.
It was rough, dude.
And
Russ was a
yeah, I
huge
mean,
bust.
shit, dude. Now
Huge
we're fun.
bust.
We're fun to watch. It's awesome.
Russ that was the biggest bamboozle of all NFL history, dude, ever. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think they have any chance against Baltimore?
Yeah, for sure they do. I mean,
You think they do?
yeah,
I think
Steelers,
Coughlin
yeah.
is an unbelievable coach. I think he's an unbelievable coach. I think Russ has actually been okay this year. Like no, he's still doing his bullshit, sitting in the pocket and not letting go of the football. But you think they can beat Baltimore? You really believe that? You think they have a
I
better
think they.
chance to beat Baltimore than we do Buffalo?
Ooh, a better chance than. Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's a divisional opponent, dude. Like,
Yeah,
to be honest with you, I would feel like we'd have a better chance of beating Kansas City than Buffalo, no doubt about it.
than Buffalo. Yeah,
So I
I
think
can understand
I mean,
that
these
rivalry.
AFC North games are wild, man. And Mike
That's a good
Tomlin
point.
is one hell of a coach.
He is one hell of a coach. I just think
And
that this year, you talk about Allen having a great year, dude. That dude,
Lamar
um,
Jackson.
dude, holy crap!
Yeah.
This year, that guy's on a mission, bro. Lamar's on an
Yeah, and I've
absolute
always
mission.
been a Lamar Jackson like hater, quote unquote. It's not like I
Yeah,
hate the guy. I think he's a fucking phenomenal player.
he's
I
also
just think
overrated, but
that
yeah,
yeah, well, I just think his style doesn't translate to winning Super Bowls. They got Derrick Henry by far and away the best thing that they could have done. I just hope that they don't, because I do want the Ravens to win that game. I just hope that they don't like do what they normally do and just all of a sudden play a completely different style of football. It usually only
and ruin
happens when
it.
teams play the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But
Well, Harbaugh's not that bad of a coach. He's not the type of coach to steer away from something like that. But to your point, you
that's the
just
kind of
never
thing
know.
that
Yeah,
they
you don't
have
know.
been like. It almost seems like every time they get into the playoffs, they look different or they try different
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Maybe he's just trying to. Maybe that was, his like mental ticket when he had Flacco, and that's what the reason they won is they changed up their game style, and maybe that's just something he stuck with.
yeah,
I mean, obviously, dream scenario would have been Pittsburgh against Denver, and us taking Russ out of the playoffs. That would have been just the most
yeah,
cream pie event of all time. But
yeah. No shit, dude. This is awesome.
yeah, this could be cool too. You know what I mean? This could be cool too. I think that to me is I just personally believe I feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers have a tougher game than we do, as far as expectations. I don't mean that it's not possible for them to win. I just feel like teams might expect the Steelers to play better than the Broncos against the Bills, if that makes sense. But I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I don't know. I'm really excited for this weekend. I'm obviously bummed I'm not going to be with you guys. Are you guys going to stay through Sunday to watch?
Yeah, I'm leaving Sunday evening.
You are going to leave after the game.
Yeah.
That's God. You better hope they win because that flight will suck if they don't, dude. That's
Yeah.
suck.
I've kind of like prepped myself for weeks. I don't give a shit what happens in the
Yeah.
playoffs. I just want to make it. Now, obviously, when you
Yeah.
make it, you
Yeah,
definitely
you
give
have
a shit.
expectations, bro. Of course, naturally.
But a part of me, man, like I would feel so much better about losing, and I know it's not about Russ, because getting rid of Russ was always and will forever be the right move. Like if anybody doesn't see that, it forever will be. But there's always gonna be those people who are like, oh, Champagne got rid of Russ and Russ made it further than Bo Nix in the playoffs. It's like, bro, the Steelers make the playoffs with fucking Mason Rudolph.
Correct.
And they win playoff games with Mason Rudolph. Like, give me a break.
So
that happens all the time.
Yeah, they're coached so well.
Yeah, they're just well coached. They're all hard out. They make it tough. That's gonna be a hell of a game, though. I think that's the Saturday night game, I believe.
It is a Saturday night game. Is it
that'd be dope.
2 games on Saturday and 2 games on Sunday?
Yeah, the Saturday afternoon game. First game is the Texans Chargers.
Boo.
And then it's
who wins that?
Ravens Steelers.
Texans.
Man, I think everybody's jockeying the Chargers, rightfully so. But I don't know why I have a feeling maybe Houston will figure it
Houston
out,
is
play
likely
well.
that it's another upset team right there, dude. That's another team that could win and pull out the upset. Um, I mean, the Chargers have been hot. You have to give them that. They've definitely been a hot team the
Yeah.
last few weeks.
Harbaugh, man, he's a fucking
He's a
that
hell
dude's
of
a
a coach,
wizard.
dude. He's
He's
a hell of a
unbelievable.
coach, man. He really is. In the play calling and just the trend, the dude, the second half was brutal. It was brutal.
Yeah. Fuck what
Um,
I hate both those games.
yeah, that was to me, that was like that's the whole reason I have just like such a crappy feeling about the last half of the season is those two games, man. Chargers and the Bengals were just two games that we should have won and we messed up, dude.
Yeah.
And Peyton was a huge part of that mess up.
He was. No, he was.
Granted, I truly think the defense and not I feel like not a lot of people feel this way, but I feel like the defense against Cincinnati was just atrocious. Um,
It was in a sense of it gave up way too many yards, but it also
no, but
absolutely did enough for us to win.
yeah, no, I don't disagree.
You
And
know.
as the offense, but like and you're right, like the coaching decision ultimately lost the game. But my beef with that, it wasn't even the yardage, man. They were just giving up pivotal first downs and giving that team life, dude. And it was just like every time we could have put the nail in the coffin and we didn't, and that just sucked. And then I also to your point, I mean, the positives from that game too, like Bo on that drive, dude, that was unbelievable. I was screaming in my house where my kids were like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And I was like, "I can't believe we just tied the game. Like, what, what the hell?"
Yeah.
That was epic. It was epic. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm excited and super nervous. Yeah, super nervous to
I
see what
think that's what I
happens.
fear. I don't think we'll be in that position. I mean, we could be, but it's not highly likely that we're in a position in this Bills game where like, let's say we're in the third quarter and we're up, you know, two possessions, right? 11 points.
Sure.
If we're in that position, it's like the season history will tell you we're not going to put him away. But that'll be a true test. Like, imagine,
Yeah.
you take
No,
all
but
the fuck ups that you've had in the past of not being able to put your,
and make them right and make
your
them right
foot
in the
on their
playoffs.
throat, and then you go out there and you execute that. So I just, I'm so damn excited for
Yeah.
this game. I can't even tell you.
How many
Fired
times
up.
it takes for him to learn, dude. I'm eager to see. And to your point, yeah, I mean, you have to assume it's just crazy to me with like the veteranship of Sean Payton and the stupidness of some of the mistakes. That to me has been really weird.
Yeah.
Um, just yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
But I
obviously,
think
it's
for
very
every,
easy
I
to
think
talk
I'd
shit.
say I'd say overall still. I mean, because yeah, there's a lot of them that you make you want to pull your hair out. But overall, for every mistake he's made, I think he's done 10 positive, extremely positive
Oh,
things. They've just
bro,
mainly
this
been not on the play calling aspect of it, but just building the
this whole
culture and
season,
the
bro, has been
camaraderie
amazing.
and
Everything. The
and
team's
yeah, it's crazy.
the team feels different and they sound different and they act different. Like it's just a completely different culture than the last 6 7 seasons of this like even last year when you're watching Russ and Cortland just throwing his shoulders and like you just saw the body language and how everybody was just like super unhappy with what was going on and obviously like losing culture, that's what happens, and then all of a sudden it evolves into who you are, and that's where it got scary as a Broncos fan is like all of a sudden you're watching a team that's like, oh, we're a bunch of losers, and that was like, what the hell? Like, how are we ever going to climb out of this pit? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And bro, this year has been incredible. Like, just so much better than any of us could have anticipated, bro. Like, just so much better.
No doubt. No doubt. Well,
Um,
looking ahead, like into the offseason, right? Whenever that is, do you feel like now the Broncos are going to have a decent amount of cap space? They're going to be a much more attractive place for free agents to want to come.
yeah.
What do you think is the right like philosophy with free agency with this team?
Well, I think we need. I mean, I don't necessarily think it's super important. Obviously, continue to build the offensive line. I feel like we need to continue to. I mean, the defense has been great this year, in for the most part. I feel like they've been great. So, like, obviously, any availability you have to take to me, like always, best available. But like, I feel like offensively, I don't know if we need a running back more than we need a wide receiver, or more offensive line than our running back situation is okay. I feel like we need more work offensively than we do defensively. So that being said, I don't know if they go target a really awesome wide receiver or do they go target a really awesome running back. Like, I don't know what the answer is, but I definitely know it's on the offensive side. I think that we need something there for sure. Like some other key player that like it's not like that there's any super pressure on both shoulders or anything like that, but like I just feel like we're missing that component offensively that we've had in the past.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, do you think that they should take the more aggressive approach in a sense of like go out there and sign the big name guys, whoever wants to come
I don't
here,
know, man. I
pay
mean,
big contracts?
historically, we've done really well off the draft. Like, I mean, look at our defense right now, dude. Like, tell me how we gave up. I mean, not that they're at that part of their careers, but like Bradley Chubb gone, Von Miller gone, and we go and draft PS2 and we lock up on Benito. And like you have players that are playing outstanding that nobody assumed would play outstanding. And to me,
Mhm.
that's like the beauty of the NFL draft. But I don't know. Is there going to be anybody extremely awesome available? Like, is there anybody that you have your eyes on that you think is going to hit the free agency that we should go get?
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be and there's always like it's always so fluid because there's guys that you think will be available that the team ends up re-signing. Like obviously, T
Right.
Higgins is one everyone talks
Right.
about, but
That's
then
one
there's
you brought up
guys
a
that
couple weeks
like
ago.
become available all of a sudden. But it's funny because like I look at a lot of teams like Houston, for example, right? Houston, they drafted Stroud, they had a huge turnaround, they made the play, they won a playoff game. Then they go out and they sign Stephon Diggs and they sign all these big name guys. That didn't really necessarily work out for them, like
It didn't.
To an extent.
Yeah.
And you can see a lot of examples where it did work, right? When we had Peyton Manning, we went out there. I mean, we signed DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib, TJ Ward. Like
a lot of it was veteran players, and in the defense of what we went and did, Peyton Manning was a different type of leader. I mean, the type of like putting everybody together that guy brought, and the type of momentum and leadership that he brought to the team was unlike any of us are going to see, I think, in our lifetime, dude. But
yeah.
I don't know that there is like I don't know, man. I just feel like the young team and these no-name players has been awesome, dude. And I'm not saying that like I don't know that there's anybody in the league that I feel like we need to go get that would just like impact our play right now. Like I bit my tongue on it. Maher had brought up the comment in the Denver chat talking about Klay Thompson, and I talked all this shit about not getting Klay Thompson, and now I'm absolutely like, wow, I wish we would have got Klay Thompson. Like, I don't see anybody like that necessarily right now in the NFL that would impact our team that much. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure that I see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone the other day said Tyreek Hill. What do you think about that? What do you think about Tyreek Hill?
No, yeah, it's another perfect example. I mean, for me personally, I'm saying no, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good
for a lot of
all.
reasons. I love Tyreek Hill. I think Sean Payton would hate him.
Yeah,
I really do. I don't think that they would really get along in terms of like the kind of shit that he does. And I don't know, like I'm not a fan of signing aging players to big contracts at all.
Well,
but also like the vibe of the team, it's like I really realized over the last several years, mainly in NFL wide, fit is everything, dude.
Yeah.
Everything. Like Tyreek Hill is an unbelievable player and he'd be an unbelievable addition to so many teams.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work for us. But when we go out there and we sign like Brandon Jones, right? The safeties, low key signing, nothing crazy. Nobody's really talking about it. He was perfect for us. He might not have been really necessarily good everywhere else.
Yeah.
But he was perfect here. And that's just an example, right? Like, Bo Nix, I think, was going to be a really good NFL quarterback regardless. But if Bo Nix went to Chicago,
who knows?
Does he suck or is he good? Yeah. I think he'd be better than Caleb Williams out of the way. But it's just like, some situations, man, it's like it's nobody's going to succeed there regardless. So I feel like the Broncos should continue on their approach of like being frugal and conservative and just being very like intentional with the people that they sign, right? Like they have a very specific type of role. It's been working well for them. Why the hell not?
Purpose driven for sure. There's no doubt about that. I think you're not wrong. I definitely I don't have any beef with Tyreek Hill. I just think he'd be a terrible fit in Denver. But you brought it up, I think it was 2 weeks ago. T. Higgins would be, I feel like, an awesome free agent signing here in Denver. I've always liked that guy. He's also another guy that's kind of under the radar. He's not really a superstar wide receiver. He's great in Cincy, but like I also don't mind what we have. I mean, Sutton, I mean, we're talking shit. Sutton's had a great season. He's had a
Yeah.
really good season, dude. Mims has
Yeah.
been an outstanding guy, and it's not that bad. Like Vele finally got us that one touchdown, but it's just like, you know, I feel like it's not that bad. We're just, you know, when you talk about like those guys that make the play, Jamar Chase, dude, he's an extreme example. I mean, obviously a guy like that, sure, but you're not going to get him. But like a guy like that just goes out and does things that like nobody else on the field is doing, and that's when it's like there's a handful of players like that. You think of like Megatron, Jamar Chase. Um, there's not a lot of guys that have that kind of impact on the offensive side that aren't a QB or running back. You know what I mean? And I don't see anybody. I mean, you said it earlier. Baltimore signing Henry was massive, dude. It was massive. That's the difference in them being a powerhouse offensively this year. I don't know though,
Well,
man.
another
I just
example
don't.
of fit though, right? He fits
Yeah, yeah,
exactly what Baltimore does.
yeah. That's what they run the hell out of the ball, and that's what he is, dude. The guy is just a workhorse, and it's crazy. He's going on. I mean, how many years have you said, all right, this is his last season that he's going to
Yeah,
perform, and he's
fuck.
still freaking performing, dude.
Yeah, guys are
It's
freaking.
nuts. It's nuts. And yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's anybody that fits like that. And I feel like we've had a lot of great players come through this city, bro, through the draft. And you know, we always talk shit about Elway. He was a terrible offensive drafting manager, but like, you know, he brought some really excellent players to the Denver Broncos, man. And I don't know, I feel like we can continue to maintain. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
Russell Wilson was a huge mistake, but like outside of that, it was nothing to do with the draft. But like, I don't know. I feel like you got to learn from those stupid ass mistakes. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. I mean, and George Payton has proven he's very good at drafting, especially in the middle
Yeah.
rounds. I mean,
Yeah,
very
dude.
good. And he's very
Yeah.
good at bringing in, free agents at a discounted rate,
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
like the cheaper, the second level, third wave, second wave kind of free agents. So I mean, I don't see why we should veer off of that. I agree with you in a sense of I don't think our wide receiver room is bad at all. In fact, I really
Uh,
like a lot of the potential still. Like
yeah.
I still love what Vele could do. Because if you notice something about Vele is every single time he gets an opportunity, he's making a play. He doesn't
Totally.
get a lot of chances, but
Al-
it's fine. It's not how the offense is running. Obviously, Marvin Mims, he's only going to get better.
Also,
Sutton,
Bo's a
like when you
rookie,
talk about
bro.
Higgins, I think when you talk about Higgins, it's most likely going to be Higgins or Sutton. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it could be a situation where you get them both, but
Yeah. Just
if
because
that's the
Sun's at the
case,
end.
I'm open for it. But if it's like either or, as one of the guys that was like very critical about Sutton early, there's no reason why you should get rid of him. Him and Bo obviously got something going.
Correct. He's had a
he's
great
still
season, man.
29,
He's had a great season.
so
I I also feel like yeah, you're not wrong. The other argument, guys like Vele, Mims, even Sutton, he's not that much older. I mean, the only thing with him ever was the injury, but he's obviously proved he's gotten past that. And the biggest thing with that is like Vele, Mims, they're going to continue to grow, and they're going to continue to grow with Bo. So it's not like there isn't this possibility that they won't become great wide receivers. Like they both obviously have potential. I mean, Mims, bro, is dude, the guy is awesome. Like he's just such a dynamic player. And I feel like he's somebody that has the potential, whether it's like a Wes Welker type of potential or just somebody that makes plays, but like with his super flashy speed, like it's just different, man. And I just feel like that growth can come. So I don't know if that's the answer offensively, because a lot of people are saying we need that wide receiver to help Bo. I'm not entirely sure that's the case. I think we'd have a better impact with like a really dynamic tight end or a really dynamic running back. But I just don't know that there's anybody out there worth getting. I'm not entirely sure that I see anybody that plugs in day one. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, 1,000%. And then you still got Troy Franklin too, who I think still needs a lot of refinement, a lot of developing.
Yeah,
But you never
yeah,
know. You never know. Sometimes it just clicks with these dudes, and he's young, bro. He's
yeah.
21.
That's the thing, dude. Look at what's his name, the guy out of Vegas, the guy that had like all the drug problems and all that shit going on, and just all of a sudden turned it on, bro. With before he went to New Orleans, what's his name? Um, who's the QB that's in New Orleans that got hurt? Derek Carr. Who
Mhm.
who was the tight end that they had that he had in Oakland that just like popped that one year, dude. Just started going
Oh
off.
yeah. Oh shit. He ended up getting hurt. I don't know what happened to him. I
Yeah,
think he's out for the
but
year
he
now.
had like all that bullshit history and had like drug problems and all this other stuff, and then like all of a sudden one season just like turned it on and became
Yeah.
like a top tight end in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it obviously can happen if the talent is there. And these teams see that, like, they're picking players. Obviously, a lot of rolling of the dice, but like, yeah, man, the talent's there. It's not that it's not there, and I really do believe that. I feel like our receiving core is not that bad, dude. Like, I feel like it's okay, and Bo has definitely shined this year, so it's not like I don't know. And aren't we one of the younger teams in the NFL?
Yeah, we are. I
I
think
feel
we are
like
the second. I think we are the youngest or the second youngest. Yeah.
I was gonna say we're one of the younger teams in the NFL, which is only as like good as it gets. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that type of growth comes over the next 4 or 5 seasons, dude. And I'm not gonna pretend like we're talking about Bo like he's in his third, fourth season, bro. Like this is huge, man. Who knows what next year brings? Who knows what the year after that brings, dude? Like
Yeah.
shit, man. I don't know. It's exciting. I haven't been excited about Broncos, man, in a long ass time, dude.
Yeah. No, man. And whenever the season ends, if it's this week, if it's in 3 weeks, or we win the Super Bowl, I mean, who knows? The
Who
off season is
knows,
going to
dude?
be. It
Don't get
always is
carried
one of
away,
my
bro.
favorite times, but this off season is going to be
What's the
lit.
what's the minus on the Broncos winning the Super Bowl right now?
I think it's 6,000.
That's not bad, man. I would
60-1 odds.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind that, dude. I wouldn't mind that. Get my
I
hopes
mean,
all
I
the
just
way
think
up,
to myself, bro, how crazy would it be if, I feel like if we beat Buffalo and then we go to
Yeah.
Kansas City, that week is going to be nuts. And if we
Imagine.
beat Kansas City, I swear to God, I will treat it like we won the Super Bowl, regardless of what happens in the championship game. Like if we could do the NFL that favor and just say, hey, we're eliminating the Chiefs. They're not going to win 3 in a row. I don't give a shit. It's going to be like, that's my Super Bowl. I'll admit it. People be like, this is the Broncos. It is
The
my Super Bowl.
Chiefs and the redemption after the bullshit loss that we took to them in our first meet, like
Yeah.
absolutely. If you take out a team, no, you're not wrong, by the way. If you beat the Bills and you go and beat the Chiefs, that's it. You're destined for a Super Bowl. I don't care what anybody says. Like if that's how it goes down, you're destined for a Super Bowl. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's
I mean,
just tough when you play
obviously,
the Chiefs. It's tough playing the Chiefs, man, because you're playing the refs too. You got 2 opponents.
bro, I've never seen anything like it. This year has been something freaking weird, dude. It has been so odd. The love that they're getting is worse than
Ever since they got fucked. Remember when D4 they were playing against Brady?
yeah,
Brady
yeah.
and the refs. Brady and the refs.
Yeah, but this
were
is
like,
worse. This
having a
actually
threesome all
seems
the
worse
time.
though. Yeah, but this seems worse.
Yeah, but like, so they screwed the Chiefs over in that game with like D4 lining up offsides. I mean, don't line up offsides, but like, you're really gonna call that, bro. Anyways, so that screws them. Brady ends up going to the Super Bowl, wins it. But ever since then, it was almost like we owe the Chiefs a favor for the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, dude. That's what it feels like, and it is definitely bullshit. I don't know, man. It has been really weird. The calls and just the shit that has gone their way this season has been wild, man. There's that one, I send it to you guys in the chat all the time. That one guy that's like talking about how it's rigged with the Chiefs, and it just feels that way, man. It's pretty weird. I mean, obviously, whatever. I'm not gonna say that's the case, but like, it feels pretty goddamn weird. It feels pretty weird.
It is, but man, we're almost at an hour, brother. So I'm gonna wrap this thing up.
No,
I'm
this has
also
been
interacting
fun,
with
dude.
this troll in the chat here, which has been hilarious.
Oh, we have. Can I see the comments?
You can see comments. Yeah, it's somebody that. Are you able to see comments on the right side?
I don't see anything. No, it's probably because I
Dude,
don't have a
I'll show you
StreamYard
this
account.
afterwards, but it's definitely some like hardcore foreigner because he could barely type English. So I don't know if it's like one of our buddies just messing with me.
Discotheque.
But I think he's a Chiefs. Well, he is a Chiefs fan. He's like, "Go Chiefs, baby," and he says excuses and shit like that. Like,
Oh, here we go. I see
"Go
some
Chiefs,
comments
baby."
now. There you go.
Excuses.
13
Reps this or
seconds.
reps that, and then he says,
That's
"Keep capping." So this guy's probably actually like 5 years old because he really can't type. But it was
Don't be vaping, bro. It's one of your nephews or some shit, dude. That's
it's
who this is.
Vapping. English is tough. Anyways, thanks. 13 seconds. I appreciate it. All I'll need.
Yeah.
All I would really need, honestly, is
Keep capping. It's definitely a child.
That's my
You're not
max.
lying. It's definitely a child.
There you go.
It's definitely a child. You're absolutely correct. It's probably one of your nephews or some shit just messing with you.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, bro, first of all, again, big ups, man. 500 is a big deal. I want to be a part of this, like, for life, like, anytime. This has been a lot of fun. I missed
No,
this.
man.
Used to do this
Yeah,
all the time in the basement. So
I'm
thanks
down.
for having me, man.
I feel like instead of Rap City in the basement, this is gonna be like sports talk in the basement.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll just create a show. I
100%.
love it. I appreciate it. This is easy for me. So anytime you want to hop on, man, you're always
I
welcome
love
back.
it,
You already
bro.
know.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you, bro. You have a
Yes,
good night,
sir.
bro.
All right, guys. We signing off.
Peace. Thanks, bro.